So the sequel to the Bird Box, Bird Box Barcelona, just dropped, and while it does touch on what exactly these creatures that take control over people's minds and make them off themselves, it doesn't explicitly explain what they are, nor does it show what they are. So I thought to just give my 2 cents on my observation of what I assume the creatures from the movies are. And no, I don't think they are angels. There are 2 explanations about what these creatures are in the movie. 1.
If somehow these creatures are some kind of quantum beings, maybe they don't even have a permanent state. Maybe they're changing, fluctuating all the time, until we hear them, or we see them.
And 2.
In rare cases, extreme forms of stress can affect people's DNA. Change it even. Abuse, violence. Grief.
However, for the first one, I don't think it makes much sense. These creatures, as he describes, are quantum creatures which change based on the viewer's perception, and it's how they manipulate each person who look at them. However, the description would present them as physically altering creatures, like shapeshifters, except they don't have a definite form. The play out of the movie kind of proves this wrong, because during these episodes where the humans are being manipulated, it is clear that each individual is having a personal experience, like a connection with these creatures, and is not influenced by the other. When the female protagonist hears her brother's voice screaming loud at them constantly, the others are shown to not hear that same voice but rather theirs.
I need you, Claire. I'm right here, Claire. Look at me. Right. Look.
One chance for this to come. He can't be Mama?
This on its own proves that these creatures aren't just physically morphing, if they even are, but rather, they have at this point already invaded the human's mind and are literally manipulating the human from within their minds. Notice how no matter the situation, these creatures never touch the humans, nor do they ever get close enough for an encounter. Also remember how it's proven that the image of the daughter the male protagonist sees is only in his mind, an illusion and never in reality. This literally means everything that happens, the creatures have already taken over their mind, perhaps not their bodies, but why? I believe these creatures aren't some quantum beings, but rather a whole new species from another solar system who are doing one thing all creatures do to survive. Feed. If you remember this scene, the creature is literally shown to walk up the stairs slowly, which doesn't make any sense. If they can physically change their bodies, they could just levitate or turn into something capable of flight, which would get them to the top much quickly. The fact it sees normal color and walks on the stairs means it does have a definite form, and when the male protagonist saw an angel, that was all in his head. An illusion created by the alien species. How do they feed? Simple. Since it's shown that no matter how powerful they are, they never physically harm the humans, even here with the birds they mind-controlled. It means they probably feed on the brain waves, energy produced by the brain, which would explain why they want to always take over your mind. As for the physical body, they have no use for it and make the human end themselves, perhaps as part of the feeding process or to ensure they don't rise back against them. I don't think these creatures are physically strong, so the defense is mind-feeding. The end of the movie reveals that the species can't fully take over people with a mutation created in the DNA from trauma. If it's canon, I can't argue, I didn't write it. However, I believe that it would make sense that these creatures, in order to fully take over the human, needs to gain control of all 5 senses. Feeling, taste, smell, hearing, and lastly, sight. I in my little bubble think that these people who didn't lose themselves like that male protagonist probably don't have one sense active. Perhaps smell or taste, which is why he didn't lose himself. But that's just my 2 cents. What do you think about my views of the movies and these creatures? Agree or disagree? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Subscribe and share with other movie watchers, and see you in the next movie.